In a world where power usually meant luxury, comfort, and endless pleasure, there lived a man who chose a very different path. While other rulers surrounded themselves with gold, silk, and soft beds, this emperor chose something that confused everyone around him. He chose simplicity. He chose discipline. He chose to sleep on the cold, hard floor. His name was Marcus Aurelius, and his story is not just about ruling an empire, but about mastering the self in a world full of temptation. Marcus Aurelius lived in the time of the mighty Roman Empire, a civilization known for its strength, wealth, and influence. Emperors before him were often remembered for their power, their conquests, and their luxurious lifestyles. Palaces were filled with fine decorations, servants attended to every need, and comfort was seen as a symbol of success. But Marcus Aurelius saw the world differently. From a young age, he believed that true strength did not come from comfort, but from control over one's own mind and desires. As a boy, Marcus was quiet, thoughtful, and deeply curious. While others enjoyed entertainment and games, he spent his time reading and reflecting. He was especially drawn to philosophy, particularly the teachings of Stoicism. Stoicism taught that life is unpredictable, that pain and loss are unavoidable, and that the only thing we truly control is our reaction to events. This idea shaped Marcus's entire life. He learned that a strong person is not the one who avoids difficulty, but the one who faces it calmly and with discipline. When Marcus Aurelius eventually became emperor, he gained access to everything a person could desire. He had immense power, unlimited resources, and the loyalty of millions. He could have lived a life filled with luxury, but instead, he continued to practice the same discipline he had learned as a child. He believed that comfort could weaken the mind and that relying too much on ease could make a person unprepared for hardship. So, he made a choice that seemed strange to everyone around him. He chose to live simply, even when he did not have to. One of the most surprising habits Marcus Aurelius followed was sleeping on the floor. While a grand bed was always available to him, he often chose the cold ground instead. This was not because he lacked resources or because he wanted to impress others. He did it to train his mind. He believed that by denying himself comfort, he could become stronger, more focused, and more resilient. Every night on the hard floor reminded him that he did not need luxury to survive, and that true peace came from within, not from external things. People in the palace often whispered about his behavior. Some thought he was too strict with himself. Others believed he was wasting the privileges of being emperor. But Marcus Aurelius did not seek approval. He understood something that many people do not realize even today. The more we depend on comfort, the more we fear losing it. By removing that dependence, he freed himself from fear. He became a man who could remain calm in any situation, whether surrounded by luxury or facing hardship. His life as emperor was not easy. The Roman Empire faced many challenges during his rule, including wars, political conflicts, and a devastating plague. These were not small problems. Entire cities suffered, soldiers died in battle, and uncertainty spread across the empire. In such times, many leaders would panic or lose control, but Marcus Aurelius remained steady. His training, his discipline, and his philosophy allowed him to face these challenges with a calm and clear mind. During long military campaigns, Marcus Aurelius often lived like his soldiers. He did not isolate himself in luxury while others suffered. Instead, he shared their hardships, slept in simple conditions, and faced the same dangers. This earned him deep respect from his army. They did not just see him as a ruler, but as a leader who truly understood their struggles. His actions showed that leadership is not about being above others, but about standing with them, even in difficult times. Marcus Aurelius also spent time writing down his thoughts. These writings, later known as meditations, were never meant to be published. They were personal reflections, reminders to himself about how to live a good life. In these writings, he often spoke about the importance of discipline, humility, and inner strength. He reminded himself not to be controlled by anger, not to chase pleasure, and not to fear death. His words continue to inspire people even today because they address timeless struggles that every human faces. One of the key ideas Marcus Aurelius believed in was that life is temporary. Everything we have, wealth, power, even our own lives, will eventually come to an end. Instead of fearing this reality, he accepted it. He believed that understanding the temporary nature of life helps us focus on what truly matters. Instead of chasing endless comfort, we should focus on being good, kind, and disciplined individuals. This mindset made him different from many rulers of his time, who were often obsessed with power and legacy. Sleeping on the floor became a symbol of his philosophy. It represented his refusal to be controlled by comfort. It showed his commitment to discipline. It reminded him that he was not just an emperor, but a human being who needed to stay grounded. While others saw it as strange, for Marcus Aurelius it was a daily practice that kept his mind strong and his ego in check. His story teaches an important lesson. In today's world, we often chase comfort. We look for easier paths, quicker rewards, and constant pleasure. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that true strength comes from facing difficulty, not avoiding it. When we challenge ourselves, when we step out of our comfort zones, we grow stronger. We become more capable of handling whatever life throws at us. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history, yet he remained humble. He understood that power is temporary and that true greatness lies in character. He did not let his position define him. Instead, he defined himself through his actions, his discipline, and his mindset. Even when surrounded by luxury, he chose simplicity. Even when he had the right to comfort, he chose challenge. In the end, Marcus Aurelius was not remembered just as an emperor, but as a philosopher and a thinker. His life continues to inspire people around the world, not because of the empire he ruled, but because of the way he lived. He showed that it is possible to have power without being consumed by it, to have access to luxury without becoming dependent on it, and to live a meaningful life by focusing on what truly matters. The image of an emperor sleeping on the floor may seem unusual, but it carries a powerful message. It reminds us that strength does not come from what we have, but from who we are. It teaches us that discipline is more valuable than comfort, and that true freedom comes from controlling our desires, not from satisfying them. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply, and he lived his life according to these principles. So, the next time you find yourself seeking comfort, avoiding difficulty, or feeling controlled by your desires, remember this story. Remember the emperor who had everything, yet chose the simplest path. Remember that true power is not about ruling others, but about mastering yourself.